Hello guys, today we are going to study ratio and proportion. Now you might be wondering what is ratio? You might have heard it for the first time. So ratio is nothing but comparing two or more quantities together. So I'll write the definition. Quantities which is obtained by dividing them in the lowest terms. So let's take an example. Let's say in a class there are 20 boys and 4 girls. Now the ratio of boys to girls would be nothing but division of them. Boys to girls, this is the symbol of ratio. It's nothing but we divide them. So boys upon girls, which is 20 upon 4, 20 upon 4, and we cancel out, we get 5 upon 1, and we can write it like this, 5:1. So the ratio is 5:1. Just by looking at this, we can understand boys are 5 times than the girls. So this is just one example. Let me give you more examples. Let's take some examples so it's very clear for you. Lemonade. Now let's say you want to make lemonade and you look up some recipe online, and the recipe tells you that you need 20 cups of water and 2 cups of syrup. So 20 cups water plus 2 cups syrup. Now let's say you want to make a whole bottle of lemonade, then how will you know how much syrup to add? So you can just calculate the ratio of water to syrup. So ratio would be water to syrup. We just divide it 20 upon 2. So it would be 10 upon 1, which is 10:1. This is the ratio. For every 10 cups of water you add in the bottle, you have to add 1 cup of syrup. Let's look at another example. Let's say Mumbai Indians won 12 matches. 12 matches but lost 4 matches. Okay, let's find ratio of win to loss. So ratio of win to loss would be, we just divide it 12 upon 4. We simplify it 3 upon 1, which is 3:1. Now looking at this, we can understand Mumbai Indians has won 3 times than it has lost. Let's take the last example. Let's say you want to travel from your home to your school, and you have 3 ways of traveling: walking, train and car. Walking takes you 60 minutes. Car takes you 40 minutes. And train takes you 20 minutes. Let's find the ratio. So walk to car to train. The ratio would be 60:40:20. 60:40:20. Can we simplify it? We can divide everything by 20. So we get 23s are 60, 22s are 40, 21s are 20. So this is our ratio, and by this we can clearly understand train takes the lowest amount of time, car takes twice as much time, and walking takes thrice as much time. So these were the examples of ratio. Let's continue. Okay, now you might be wondering, if ratio is just division, then what is the difference between ratios and fractions? So let's find out. Let's see that. Ratio is used for comparing quantities and fraction is used to represent part of a whole. For example, let's say you had 1/4 of the cake. So 1/4 cake, part of a whole. While both of them are similar, but the key difference is that ratio is used for comparing fractions, is used to represent part of a whole, and ratio is always written in the lowest terms. Let's continue. I'll write some properties of ratio. So some properties of ratio. Ratio has no units. Why does it have no units? Because when you calculate ratio, you divide. Let's say you calculate ratios of height of two people. So let's say you calculate 40 centimeter upon 20 centimeter. So the units also get cancelled out. So you get 2:1 and there are no units. So ratio doesn't have any units. So ratios are written with a colon symbol. Let's say 2:3, 3:4. So A is to B. It's written as A is to B, where A is called the antecedent and B is called consequent. Third point, while calculating ratio, both quantities should be of same unit. Now let's say you are comparing the heights. You cannot compare centimeter and meter. Both have to be either meter or centimeter. So both of the quantities should be of the same unit. Only then you can find the ratio. So these were the three properties of ratio. Let's move on to the next part. Next part is converting fractional ratio to whole number ratio. Converting. Let's say, so ratios are usually represented as whole number ratio. So 2:3, 5:7, 1:2. But what if you had fractions instead of whole numbers? So let's say you had 1/2 is to 1/3, or 5/7 is to 7/9, or something like this. What do you do then? So when you are simplifying, it should always be in whole number form, this form. So let's find out. Let's see how we can calculate that. Let's take an example. 1/3 is to 1/4. Now, how do we get it into the whole number ratio? So, first step is this. Ratio symbol is nothing but division. So, you can simply divide it. Put a division symbol there. So, 1/3 divided by 1/4. Now, you cannot cut. First, you have to convert this into multiplication symbol. For that, you need to reciprocal this. So 1/3, this turns into multiplication, and this goes up and this goes down. So 4/1. Now when you multiply, you get 4/3, and as you know, 4/3 we can write it as 4:3. So this is the final answer. So we just divided this and then simplified it to get the answer. So this was the case when there were two terms. Now let's see when we have three terms of fractions. let's say we have three terms. So we have the question 1 by 3 ratio, 2 1 by 4, 2 1 by 4 is to 1 5 by 6. 1 5 by 6. Now first step would be to convert them into improper. So we get 3 1s are 3 plus 1 4 by 3 ratio 9 by 4 ratio 11 by 6. Correct. Now what do? Now you cannot divide. When we have three terms, we have to take LCM of the denominators and multiply them by each term. So the LCM comes out to be 12. So we can multiply each term by 12, the LCM. So let's do that. Let's see what happens. 12 multiplied by 4 by 3 is to 12 multiplied by 9 by 4 is to 12 multiplied by 11 by 6. Now we can cancel this easily. 3 4s are 12, 4 3s are 12, 6 2s are 12. So what do you get? The denominators have gone. So now we just get the whole number. So 4 4s are 16, 9 3s are 27, 2 11s are 22. So this is your final answer. We got it in the whole number ratio. So next we are going to do how to divide a given quantity into a given ratio. Now let's take an example. So example is Ram and Shyam get 40 chocolates in a ratio of 1:1. So there are 40 chocolates and those 40 chocolates are divided between Ram and Shyam in the ratio 1:1. Now as you know, 1:1 ratio means both receive the same number of chocolates. So we just divide 40 by 2 and we get 20. So Ram and Shyam each get 20 chocolates. Now this was easy. But what if the ratio was something like 2:3? Now this becomes difficult because we don't know how to calculate. How much will Ram and Shyam get? Let's see how to calculate. Step 1. Calculate total parts. Total number of parts So these are the steps how to calculate. So the first step is calculate total number of parts. So how do we calculate that? So there were 40 chocolates given in the ratio 2:3 to Ram and Shyam. So basically there are 2 plus 3, 5 parts. So total parts is equal to 2 plus 3. We just add 2 plus 3, which is 5 parts. So from the 5 parts, 2 parts were given to Ram, 3 parts were given to Shyam. And these 5 parts in total make up 40 chocolates. So let's find out. Let's go to the step number 2. Find fractions of first and second quantity. Now, total were 5 parts. Ram got 2 out of 5 parts. Shyam got 3 out of 5 parts. So the fraction would be 2 by 5 for Ram, for Shyam 3 by 5. So this is the fraction of 40 which they have received. Now it's very easy. For finding the actual value, we just have to multiply this fraction by 40. So Ram received 2 by 5 of 40. Of 40 means multiplied by 40. So we get 5 8s are 2 8s are 16. 16 chocolates and Shyam gets 3/5 of 40. So 3 by 5 multiplied by 40, which is 3 into 8 is 24. 24. So this is the final answer. Ram receives 16 chocolates, Shyam receives 24 chocolates. So if you add up, you will see they add up to 40, which is correct. So this was the end of part 1. Thank you for watching.